Okay, it is Year of Christ 2025. This is The Bondage of the Will by Martin Luther, and it is the 500th year anniversary of Martin Luther's magnum opus, The Bondage of the Will, published first in 1525. Anyone who's reading The Bondage of the Will or who has ever read through The Bondage of the Will and thinks it's about the bondage of the human will, it is not. That is a secondary issue. The bondage of the human will is a secondary or ancillary issue in Martin Luther's The Bondage of the Will. The real issue is, we're going to see in just a moment, sola gratia, grace alone. So the necessity of knowing God and his power, section 7 right here. And this is the Henry Cole translation at ccel.org, which everybody should, every Christian should have an account there, or at least be consulting it. But here it is. Therefore, it is not irreligious, curious, or superfluous, but essentially wholesome and necessary for a Christian to know. So, Christian epistemology, knowledge, whether or not the will, the human will, does anything in those things which pertain unto salvation. It's important. Nay, let me tell you, this is the very hinge upon which our discussion turns. This is the very heart of our subject. For our object is this, to inquire what the human will, human quote, free will, can do, in what it is passive, and how it stands with reference to the grace of God. Sola gratia. Martin Luther's The Bondage of the Will is not about the bondage of the human will. That's secondary, that is ancillary. It is about defending and exalting sola gratia, grace alone. If we know nothing of these things, we shall know nothing whatever of Christian matters at all, and shall be far behind all people upon the earth. He that does not feel this, let him confess that he is no Christian at all. And he that despises and laughs at sola gratia, let him know that he is the Christian's greatest enemy. Sola gratia is what The Bondage of the Will by Martin Luther is really all about. The bondage of the will is a secondary issue. Important because so many people exalt the freedom of the will, human libertarian free will. Dr. Leighton Flowers will be debating against my Calvinist brother, Jeremiah Nortier, on some, and some of these issues will probably come up. They should come up. Jeremiah should definitely push him on that. What does the grace of God do in the salvation of disgusting, wretched, rebel, unclean, unholy, spiritual children of Satan sinners, Dr. Flowers? What does the grace of God actually accomplish? And they're going to be talking about conditional or unconditional election. Of course, as Calvinists, we don't say that unconditional election unto salvation is strictly unconditional. We don't, because it's election unto salvation, which presupposes that those elected unto that salvation were in a state of damnation. So there is one condition upon God's electing unto salvation, and that condition is that they be disgusting, wretched, God-hating, rebel, spiritual children of Satan sinners. That's the condition. Dr. Leighton Flowers is going to say, no, it's conditioned upon our conjuring up saving faith out of the cauldron of our own power of contrary choice, my false definition of human libertarian free will. And then it's going to get into free will and all that stuff. So we should also have a proper view of free will. All synergistic groups say that free will is the power of contrary choice, or the equal ability to choose between two or more incompatible options under the same circumstances. That's not a free will. That's a neutral will. That's what the Arminians, semi-Pelagians, and full-blown Pelagians, the semi-Pelagian are the provisionists, Leighton Flowers. That's what they don't get. That's a neutral will, not a free will. So what is human libertarian free will? John chapter 8, verses 31 through 38, to derive a biblical definition of human libertarian free will from the words of Jesus himself. Okay, let's see. Let me get all the way down. I go through a lot of stuff here before I get to it. It's a two-part definition. Human free will is a will that never assents to any errant proposition as if it were true, because Jesus said the truth will set you free. Therefore, it is errors, falsehoods, and lies that enslave. Just go back to the fall, Adam and Eve. They believed the serpent's false words and then subsequently called God a liar because their words were contradictory, God's words and the serpent's words. And number two, it is a will that never wills to do anything other than that which is good and well-pleasing to God. That's a human libertarian free will. Jesus possessed this two-part definition. Jesus never assented to any errant propositions as if they were true, and he never willed to do anything other than that which was good and well-pleasing to God. Jesus was inerrant and impeccable. Inerrancy and impeccability, without error and without sin. Okay? So that's the proper definition of human libertarian free will, biblically derived, not definitions pulled from Platonic, speculative, pagan philosophy that Leighton Flowers and all other synergists hold to. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I wanted to keep it somewhat short. Martin Luther's The Bondage of the Will, not about the bondage of the will, exaltation of the grace of God alone in the salvation of disgusting, wretched, rebel sinners. Talk to you soon. Sole Deo Gloria.